Hello, welcome to Three Mates and a Podcast. A podcast that involves three people, or mates if you will, who discuss things, debate about stuff sometimes, and just chat about whatever. My name is Kaz and I run that podcast as the show's host, with the other two being my friend Jake.
Hiya.
And my boyfriend Albert.
Hello there.
And, from time to time guest stars as well, such as our other friends and stuff. We don't use our voices online, apart from Jake, so all our voices are edited by me, using a text-to-speech software that is linked below alongside the other credits and junk. Now, with that out of the way, how's about we jump into the podcast?
Okay, so, what's going on here, Kaz? What are we doing?
So, this is a new podcast I'm trying out. Originally going to be called Three Mates Clubhouse, but decided against it as there was originally something else by someone else called Flo Joe's Clubhouse, and I wanted to be more original. So, this is Three Mates and a Podcast. I'm sure the video at the start explained everything you all need to know. Unless, you skipped it.
So this is the first ever episode, so what should we do first?
I think we should start with telling the viewers our names and a short description about ourselves. Even though the beginning already mentioned our names.
You want us to do an introduction?
Yeah.
Sure, let's do an introduction. I'll go first. Okay, my name is Albert. I am Kaz's boyfriend. I am part of the LGBT community as well as the two other mates, and I really like to play video games. That's all I'm willing to say about myself, and I would like to introduce the two other mates with us here today, my partner, and our friend Jake.
Okay, I'm up next. Hi, my name is Kat. I'm Albert's partner as well as Jake's friend. Me and Albert met IRL, but me and Jake met online on Roblox as we're from the UK and he's from Canada. I'm non-binary and go by they them as stated on my pronoun pin that I'm wearing. I quite like drawing, as I am a fairly decent artist. I even made the podcast's icon with a video icon being created by Jake, but I like playing video games as well, as I have a Nintendo Wii U that me and Albert play together, and that's pretty much all about me. Now Jake, you're next.
Long enough for you. Hey. Anyways, yeah. My name is Jake. I am a fellow NB like Kez, except I use they pronouns as stated on my pronouns pin. As stated by Kez, I did in fact create the video art of us just chilling and chatting as I am an artist as well. I am a fan of lots of animated web series and quite enjoy them. One that I really like a lot of them all and that I've drawn quite the fan art for is Roommates by Flo Joe. I quite also enjoyed his other series and stuff too, and I even turned Kez into a fan a bit ago. I think that's all I'll say so I don't ramble. I'm sure the introduction has gone long enough now. So, what are we doing now, Kez?
Well, for the first episode, I thought we could chat about Roblox. More specifically, what Roblox is becoming. So what do we all feel about the new animated faces, and user-generated bundles and packages? And do you think Roblox has gone too far?
Okay, I'll go first. Personally, I think that the user-generated content for like items-wise and stuff is fine. But I think that that's where they should have drawn the line. Like, the animated faces with the new user-generated packages is a bit too much for me. And I have seen all the creepy and disturbing avatars people have been making with all the new user bundles and stuff. I just think there needs to be a line with what users can create and all.
Oh, okay. Jake? What are your thoughts?
I actually agree with you, Albert. I think the line has been crossed and a bit too far. It's good that users can be creative with the user-generated content, but it's like they've given the people a power that they can just do almost anything with. The amount of cool avatars I see with the new packages is pretty cool, but the amount of troll and creepy avatars I see outweighs that by a landslide. It's just like, I miss when Roblox was a bit more simplistic, Let's just stick with the cool user-generated hairs, furry stuff and cool faces and leave it at that. What about you, Kez?
I agree with you too, but only halfway. I quite like the Billy package and I've seen a few people do some cool avatars and creative stuff with it, but I also don't like all the creepy and troll avatars I see people creating with the dog and cat packages. So I think that they can have the packages and bundles, but I also think there should be a certain limit on them. Yeah.
Agreed. Okay, so what's next?
I actually don't know. We could chat a bit about other stuff and games, but it's the first episode and I want it to be good. People are going to judge our whole podcast based on our first episode and whether or not they want to stick around for new ones or not. I originally planned to just talk about the whole Roblox thing, but that didn't go on as long as I thought, and I want the podcast to go for a bit longer.
How long is the podcast normally going to be?
I was originally hoping for a 30-minute podcast every episode, but I'm thinking about making it just to be 15 or something, because I really don't think that any of us have the capacity or the time to do 30 minutes each one of these. And I don't even know how many views or people we're gonna even get from this. I mean, do people still like podcasts nowadays, or?
I don't know, maybe people like them. You never know. Maybe if the first few episodes are good, we can keep doing them and see how long we can keep going for.
Alright. But no one ever answered my question yet about what we're doing now.
We could tell some funny stories. You know, like funny stories we've heard, or done, or told before. Or just funny things that have happened to us.
Ooh. Can I tell the story about the t-shirt thing?
The roommates thing?
Yeah.
Alright, go ahead.
Okay, so I bet they go on a TikTok account that doesn't exist anymore, as I have a new one now. I posted a video. In the video I was wearing a t-shirt. Not bringing it to mention or anything because I was literally just wearing it as I was talking about something else. I got a comment on that video shortly after that said something like, "Oh wow. I was not expecting to see my art on a shirt." So before we continue, the shirt was of the animated web series by FloJo called Roommates. And when I got it off of some Redbubble knockoff site and knew it had stolen art on it, as it had the art from the title card to the Twisted Part 1 episode. I bought it however, as I had no money at the time, and I just wanted Roommates on a t-shirt. So back to the comment. When I first saw the comment, I thought to myself, Sophia, the title card artist for Roommates. Is that you? Then like a week or so later, FloJo made a YouTube post to his channel talking about a new t-shirt design based off of the Twisted Part 1 title card that had the same art but slightly differently placed on the shirt. I still to this day don't know if that was just some coincidence or what, but I still think it's pretty freaking funny.
I thought that there was no way that could ever be a coincidence when you told me that story.
Well, whatever the hell it was hilarious.
Agreed. Alright, Albert, you got a story?
No, not really. Nothing comes to mind, and what does, can't really be said here because of guidelines and stuff.
Alright. That just leaves me then, Okay, so, me and Albert were on a date a while back, and we're just hanging out with some friends at a party for it. At the time, I didn't have a car yet cause I didn't have my license at the time, and Albert had to drive me everywhere, but at one point during the party, I looked away for like 2 minutes and this MF stumbles up to me and starts explaining the law to his ex-world alternate universe that he never mentioned once to me beforehand. Then I realized that he was drunk, and thought, well, how in the hell are we gonna get home now? He was right. So I had to make the awkward call to my stepdad and said, look, Albert got drunk when I didn't expect him to. I talked to my friend, and she said that we could keep his car in her driveway overnight, but we had no way to get home now, so could you come pick us up? I didn't tell my parents about the drinking part when we were first heading out, and I just said we were going on a date hanging out with some friends, so I thought my stepdad would be pissed. When he came to get us, he started laughing and said, do you need help getting him in the car? I've dealt with drunks before. And on the car ride home he asked Albert, so, you start hitting on anyone? I'm just sat up front all awkward by the way, while my boyfriend sits in the back. And anywho, Albert just goes. And he has no memory of this by the way.
Yeah, no memories.
So Albert just drunk and he goes, hell no. I have AI I'm taken for. If anyone is getting hit on, it's them. Then my stepdad leans to me and just goes, he's a keeper. Remember that? And I guess it was slightly more awkward than it was funny, but I fully expected him to be mad that I didn't mention the alcohol part and not react like that. So, yeah.
I have no recollection of this. Not a single memory. Like, the last thing I remember was Jen asking me if I was feeling okay.
I'm not surprised, considering how wasted you were. We're lucky you didn't try and do anything bad or nothing.
So, should we wrap up episode 1 of the podcast yet?
Yes. Yes, we should. Well, thank you guys for tuning into the first episode of Three Mates in the Podcast. Hopefully you guys liked the first episode and enjoyed what we talked about, and hopefully you guys can stick around for the second and the future episodes. Got any topics you want us to discuss? Let us know, and we'll be sure to credit you. Speaking of credits, You should totally check the description for the credits. And be sure to like and sub if you enjoyed. Light criticism is welcome in the comments too, if you didn't. It might help us to shape the podcast. Just don't be too harsh.
See ya.
Bye. And cue the outro. Wait. Does this podcast even have an outro?
No. So see you guys in the next one.